Football, baby. Football, baby. Let's go. Let's go. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Stoop Life Podcast. If today is your first time listening, I want to say welcome. We're glad to have you guys here. Obviously, we are a sports podcast. We talk all different sports. That means we even talk to you guys about tennis. We talk to you about soccer. We talk to you about baseball, all of it. But right now, our priority is football. Football's back. NFL Week 1 started this week. Today's Monday. I'm making the podcast on Monday. We got one game left. We got Denver at Seattle. But we all know what Monday means in the NFL world, in the podcast world. Overreaction Monday. And let me tell you guys something. I have a whole list of overreactions and hot takes that I could have on here, but I want to keep it a shorter episode. I don't want to be talking to you guys for 6 hours just off of the fucking Cowgirls and how they suck. But we'll leave that for later. So if you're a Cowboy fan, I'm sorry. I have Dak Prescott on my one fantasy team. I got ripped for it being an Eagles fan. And Week 1 had already paid dividends for why I shouldn't have made that pick. I needed 5 points to win, and he got me 4. My man couldn't even get 5 points for me to win. He got me 4.4 because it's a decimal league. And I lost. I lost my fantasy Week 1 because of a Cowgirl. So my hate for the Cowboys and the Cowgirls is even deeper right now. So already feeling Monday football. Already loving it. But we got some overreactions to you guys. We're going to break down a couple of them, and then we're going to talk about a couple of these games more. Now, I got 10 hot topics I like here. We're going to talk about them first, real quick, and then we're going to go into each individual game. So my number one reaction for Week 1 of NFL is what everybody else is thinking, myself. Josh Allen on Thursday night showed exactly why the Buffalo Bills are favored to win the title. A lot of you out there were questioning what's up with the Bills. Why are they so highly rated? They showed why. They went into LA and they blew the top off of the defending champions. So Josh Allen is the real deal. He didn't have the best week at quarterback as everybody else did, though. He wasn't even top 5 in passing yards. But the way that he won, the way that he drove that team to victory showed that the Bills are the favorite to win for a reason. After Week 1, Bills are the favorite. Lock it in right now. Number 2, I want to remind everybody that Jonathan Taylor's year last year was not a fluke. My man ran for 161 yards today on Sunday. 31 carries, 161 yards, 5.2 yards per carry. Wasn't the best carries in the league, average. Wasn't the most yards, almost. Saquon beat him out. But JT reminded everybody that last year was not a fluke, and that if you drafted him number 1 in your fantasy football league, don't sweat it. He's the real deal. He's going to be that good this year again. My number 3 is actually Minnesota. A lot of people were questioning. They're talking about Aaron Rodgers. We're going to talk about that. But Minnesota's offense is legit. A lot of people question, is Kirk Cousins actually that guy? Listen. If you look up Kirk Cousins' numbers throughout his career, specifically in Minnesota, phenomenal. Justin Jefferson's a goddamn cheat code. The guy can't be guarded. They were running zone on him. They were running man on him. Didn't matter. He got open. Dude's a cheat code. He's unbelievable. He's open. They're lethal. Minnesota's the real deal. Now, this week, Minnesota and Philly play right here. I'm going to be in the middle of the ocean and on a cruise ship with my boy Chris. Shout out to you, Chris, a Minnesota fan. We're going to be having a blast watching that game. I think it's going to be a great game. Justin Jefferson had 184 yards, 9 catches against one of the best defensive backfields in the league. They're the real deal. So watch out for them. Number 4, we got to talk about TJ Watt. TJ Watt had a phenomenal game. I believe he had, 2 sacks, a fumble, an interception. But more importantly, he got hurt. He tore his pec. At least it looked like he tore his pec. He came over to the sideline, grabbing his titty, saying, I tore my pec. All reports are saying that he tore his pec. Now, that injury is huge. Injury is huge, and it helps out the rest of the AFC. So even though Steelers got that win first game, big injury right there. And I think that win is not worth what they lost. We'll see going forward. Number 5, let's talk about Khalil Mack. Everybody seemed to forgot about Khalil Mack, except people that actually know sports, that actually listen to podcasts, that actually know players. Khalil Mack showed that he was back the defensive player of the year form in that division, AFC West. Huge. It's huge for the Chargers. And I think his performance game one just shows what that defense is capable of, given that they haven't played together yet, a lot of their players. So watch out for them. Number 6, the most important one for a lot of people, most important for my co-host, my man, Mr. P, Mr. Stoop Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers needs help. Clear as day. His wide receivers weren't cutting it. They need to get somebody ASAP. But I will want to remind you guys this. Last year, they got raped. They got absolutely dominated week 1 by the Saints last year. Looked like they did this week too. So if anybody's out there gonna put things together without getting help, it's probably Rodgers, but they need help. Number 7, what about the magician, Mr. Patrick Mahomes? How's Mahomes going to perform without Tyreek? I think he answered all them questions already week 1. 30 for 39, 360 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks. Killed it. Mahomes is the real deal. He reminds you guys all why he's the best quarterback in the NFL. So don't overreact on him because he is the best quarterback in the NFL until he's proven otherwise. Prove me wrong. Number 8, pay fucking Lamar. You guys aren't Ravens fans. Money's money. It's not your money coming out of your pocket, so stop complaining about it. That's just how the market is now with the money. Give him more guaranteed money than what he got offered because he shouldn't be paid less than anybody in the league. I don't care what Deshaun Watson's contract is. That's not Lamar's fault. That's the league's fault. So the Ravens need to pay Lamar because without Lamar, you guys aren't even making a wild card. You guys aren't even going to be a top 5, you're going to be bottom 5 without Lamar. So, I mean, if you want to go through the whole season watching him perform good and waiting for him to possibly get hurt because the back of his mind, he's worried about, should I run this ball because I might get hurt because I didn't get paid? That's going to affect your season. The guy proves he can throw the ball. So all you people out there that say Lamar can't throw, go back and watch some of the throws that he made in the pocket. Phenomenal. And he's throwing to guys like Bateman and Duvernay. So pay Lamar. You won't regret it. He's a real deal. I'll be the first one to admit that I thought he was going to be horrible, and I was wrong. He's going to be one of them quarterbacks that actually runs the ball first and can win a Super Bowl. So pay him, get him help, and win. Number 9, we got to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles since, we're a Philadelphia-based podcast. A.J. Brown was that missing piece. But is it going to work long term? That's my question for you guys. He got all the targets from Jalen Hurts, killed it. But we'll see. Number 10, the most important one. Cowboys are already eliminated. They're gone. Honestly, I think that's an overreaction, but I love to say it because Dakota Prescott is out. But we'll see. We'll see what they do. So now let's get into our individual games. I got some stats written down here. Number 1, I want to talk about the defending AFC champions, the Cincinnati Bengals. Starting off with the L. Now, I didn't get a lot of picks right last week, but one pick I did get right was Cincinnati not covering the spread and possibly being upset just based on the fact that teams that make it to the Super Bowl and don't win, statistically in the last 20 years, they weren't that good. They were 8, 11, and 1, straight up winning. And when you're going into a division rivalry right here, it's going to be a tough game. What happened to Joe Burrow, man? I thought they got this guy. I thought they fixed his line. He got destroyed. Again. Threw 4 interceptions because the pressure was dominating it. We talking about a Super Bowl hangover here? I don't know, man, Ryan. My buddy Ryan. I know you're out there. You went out to Cincinnati, and was it worth it? How you feeling today? I know you're feeling worse than a Cowboys fan over there in Cincinnati. 2 missed field goals. A missed extra point to win, and then a shanked left kick by Mr. Evan McPherson. Is this the year that Cincinnati falls? They go that typical Super Bowl hangover? It's looking that way. We'll see. But I think they'll be fine. I think, like I said, it was week 1, Super Bowl hangover. They'll get their shit together. They got great offense. Jamar Chase might be the best receiver in the league. He's right up there with Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, Cooper Kupp, right there. They're all good. Chase had 10 catches, 129 yards, and every time they needed a ball, he made 2 plays at the end. Tip-tap, one of them didn't count, one of them did. Dude's phenomenal. Just throw the ball to him. T. Higgins was hurt. Big game because they had a lot of red zone targets that were dropped, which if T. Higgins was in the game, Cincinnati would have won that game at the end. So everyone's going to be overreacting, saying Cincinnati's done, but put the pieces together on what they missed and understand that they were missing a lot of people. Week 1, 16 more games to go. They'll be fine. Let's talk about Pittsburgh a little bit. Pittsburgh needs to work on how to protect their players from injury. We got Najee Harris, hurt foot during all preseason. Gets hurt during the game. Gets hurt. Same foot injury. Stepped on. Honestly, I picked him in fantasy football, but if I was Pittsburgh with that injury, I wouldn't have played him week 1. I wouldn't have played him. I think it was a stupid move that they played him because he had a Liz Frank injury. For those of you out there that don't know what a Liz Frank injury, it's when the top of your foot, the top flat part of your foot is basically broken. Now imagine putting pressure on that when it's sprained, broken, whatever it is, and going out and playing a football game. You're probably not going to do good. Typically, it's a 6 to 12-week injury recovery, and we all know if it's a sprain, we all know what sprained ankles are like. They don't heal. So you're going to have your front of your foot sprained, and you're going to come back in 3 weeks and play a football game against the rivalry, the team that won your division, the team that won the AFC, and expect not some hard hits, and got hurt. But the bigger loss, even though Najee Harris, he hasn't been ruled out yet, but he looks bad, the bigger loss is T.J. Watt. He dominated. He was all over. He was a game changer. He's one of the biggest game changers on the defensive end of the football that I believe I've ever seen. Up there. He's up there. I'm not saying he's the best. He's up there. He changed the game like that. Every single play. You could double team and ran through him. Sack, fumble, pick, everything. He had a sack on Burrow where he actually had his left arm stuck on Burrow when he went to the ground, came running over to the sideline, grabbed his chest, and he tore his pec. Early reports are showing that he has a torn pec, but nothing is confirmed yet as of Monday at noon because they need to actually get the MRIs. They need to get the x-rays done to prove it. But as of now, all reports are saying torn pec. Now, if you guys remember, his brother, J.J. Watt, had a torn pec 2 years ago. His last year in Houston. He missed a whole year, came back to final game. He missed 16 games. So for you Pittsburgh fans out there, don't be relishing on that win right now too early because if you guys lost TJ Watt and Najee or one or the other, it's not going to be a good season for you guys. So my overreaction is all those Pittsburgh fans, don't get too hyped. It's going to be a short-lived win. Next up, we got to talk about Indy and Houston. How is Houston always good week 1? They're always good week 1. Last year they put up like 35. This week, they tied 20-20 against the Colts. Unbelievable. They couldn't even really move the ball. They only had 299 yards, and somehow they tied. Now, the reason they tied is this. Indianapolis was 2 for 5 in the red zone with a missed field goal on top of that. Matt Ryan looked good. 352 yards. He had 50 attempts, which is crazy, which means they had the ball a lot because Jonathan Taylor had 31 carries for 164 yards. So they were moving the ball. They just couldn't score in the red zone. Now, I don't know if that's because they don't have that connection with each other because Matt Ryan's new. But for all of you out there that are counting Indianapolis out because of this, look at the numbers. I think they're going to get their shit together. They're going to score in the red zone. And, hey, a tie is better than a loss, right? They had 517 yards on offense. Their defense only gave up 299 yards, which is actually really good in an NFL game. And they're missing their best player. So I think they'll be fine. I don't think Houston's going to be that good, but Indy will be all right. Now, let's talk about another team in their division. The number 1 team in the AFC last year, the Tennessee Titans, getting upset by the New York Giants, the new coach Giants. Saquon Barkley, phenomenal. 18 carries, 164 yards, 9.1 yards per carry. For those of you that took him in fantasy football, you're feeling really good right now. He's looking real good. If he stays healthy. We're going to knock on wood because we're hoping he stays healthy, even though he's a division guy. I don't think the Giants are going to win too many games, but hey, 6 wide receivers had a catch. They had 2 turnovers, and they held Derrick Henry to 72 yards. Pretty good start for the Giants. But I don't think they're going to hold that well because they got that guy behind there, Daniel Jones. But Titans, I think it's a telltale sign that the Titans are not that good. They're not. Earlier in the season, I predicted that Ryan Tannehill will lose his job. I still predict it. I still think it's going to happen. I still think that even though the Colts got a tie, they're still top their division because Houston got the tie with them. Jacksonville lost, and Tennessee lost. So that division's still wide open. It's still the Colts to take if they want it. They got a tie. They got lucky because if they would have got a loss, it would have been tied everybody down. Now they're a half a game up on other teams, and that main team being Tennessee. So we like it. Let's talk about the Chiefs and Patrick Mahomes. 44-21 against Arizona. Where are my Arizona fans at? Y'all are really missing DeAndre Hopkins, aren't you? I said this earlier. Arizona was one of the most overrated teams last year. Kyler Murray should be thankful that he got paid already because that dude sucks. He's a little midget playing football. He should be playing baseball. He ain't that good. He sucks. My man Lou, I know you feel me right now. He sucks. I'm betting against Arizona every game. I didn't expect 44-21, but the line went from 3 to 7.5. It was expected to be a blowout. But Patrick Mahomes, unbelievable. 30 for 39, 360 yards, 5 touchdowns, no picks. Unbelievable. On top of that, they didn't have a lead rusher really dominate, but they had 128 yards rushing as a team. Last year, they couldn't really get 100 yards. I believe they were the last team in the NFL to get a 100-yard rushing game. So if they're going to run this running back by committee, they're going to throw the ball a lot out of the backfield. They're going to be tough to beat. They held Kyler Murray to 193 yards, and it's going to be tough. I think the Chiefs are going to be fine. I think they're going to miss Tyreek Hill some games, but for the majority of the year, they proved that they don't need him. They don't need him. Juju Smith played good. Valdez-Scantling played good. And you got Travis Kelce there. You can't guard the guy. Guy's a beast. Now let's talk about the Cardinals real quick because without DeAndre Hopkins, they got a tough schedule. They play the Raiders, Rams, Carolina, Philly, and Seattle. I'm looking at maybe 2 wins, Carolina and Seattle. So you're going to be 2-4 in that division when you get your best player back. Good luck, Arizona fans. Salute to you, but you're not making the playoffs this year. You have been eliminated. Bears beat the Niners. Now, I don't know if you guys actually watched that game, but that game was in a torrential downpour, and the field was flooded. Legit, they were taking scrapers on the field and pushing the water off because it was 3-4 feet. Everybody's sitting there saying, Trey Lance is garbage. He sucks. Then on the flip side, they're saying, wow, Fields is great. Look at him. He had that play where he won the game, blah, blah, blah. Don't react to anything about that game. Seriously, don't react to anything about that game. If you watch that game, you'll see that it was literally impossible to do things. Shanahan was calling stupid plays because he kept, he was throwing the football when you couldn't even grip the ball. You couldn't even see anybody. Trey Lance's first game. Everyone's going to want to rip him, say they got Jimmy G, put Jimmy G in. Any quarterback wouldn't have played good that week. It's week 1 on top of that. It's week 1. Relax. 1 game. They got 16 left. They got that great defense. I get the Bears beat them. But we all know the Bears start off good every year pretty much. They didn't last year, but the year before that, they were almost in the playoffs. They sucked. So we'll see. I don't take much out of that game except the fact that I don't think either team is going to be a playoff team, like a legit playoff team. Now let's talk about Carson motherfucking Wentz. It hurts me because if he never got hurt in Philly, I always question what would be. I'm never a Carson Wentz hater. I'm not a hardcore Carson Wentz lover. I just realized that the guy is basically, a better version of Kirk Cousins. He could do more than Kirk Cousins, but when the pressure comes, he folds. Yesterday, 27 for 41, 313 yards, 4 touchdowns, 2 picks. He only got sacked 1 time. Quarterback rating of 101. Phenomenal. If you watch that game, he had ups and downs. But at the end of the day, he had a game-winning drive. They won. Washington got a scary offense. They're going to be tough. Last year when Wentz was in Indy, he was decent until that big game where he made them lose against Jacksonville and got kicked out of the playoffs. So watch out for Carson Wentz. Watch out for Washington. I might have to pick him up on fantasy football now because Dakota Prescott got hurt. And I'm not too worried about it. I think that performance showed he can put up numbers, he can throw the ball, but how long is he going to last? It's Carson Wentz, right? Let's talk about the Cowboys now. What the fuck was that? Listen, guys, I'm an Eagles guy. I don't like Cowboys, but I fully expected it to be a shootout and for Cowboys to put up points. That game last night was ridiculous. I'm going to talk about both of them. The two highest scoring football teams from 2021, no touchdown scored. Like, what was that? Dak Prescott only had 134 yards. The team total only had 71 yards rushing. Brady only had 212, but Tampa Bay proved that they can run the fucking ball. Uncle Lenny had 127 rushing yards. So the Bucs defense looks absolutely legit. Cowboys are screwed. Dak Prescott at the end of the game fucked his hand up. Looks like he broke his hand. He's going to miss 6 to 12 weeks per early reports. We'll know the full extent of that injury soon. But without Dak Prescott, what are the Cowboys going to do? For real. Like, what are they going to do? Like, people are already questioning them going in with Dak Prescott, saying the offense is different with the wide receivers missing, which, understandable. Now, without Dak Prescott, you got what? Cooper Rush, the backup? I mean, I guess you guys should go out there and play for Jimmy, trade for Jimmy. I don't know if he's going to be available. I don't know what the Cowboys do. I really don't. You guys are in trouble. You guys are in trouble. So good luck to Cowboys fans. I feel good for them in a bad way. Now let's talk about the Packers. Stoop, Paul, don't overreact. Don't overreact, guys. Aaron Rodgers, like I said, last year got crushed by the Saints. Threw 3 picks. Didn't throw another interception for, 12, 13 weeks? It was 22 for 34, 197 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 pick. Now, I want to highlight that pick real quick. That was the first interception Rodgers has thrown in a conference game since 2018. 4 years. 4 years he didn't throw an interception in a conference game. That's crazy. But it's week 1. Dubes, 4 receptions, 37 yards. Watson, 2 for 36. Their leading receiver was A.J. Dillon. A.J. fucking Dillon, not Aaron Jones, A.J. Dillon. 46 yards was the leading receiver. Now, my overreaction is this. As good as Rodgers is, it doesn't matter. You can't assemble a new team, have a whole new offensive roster, and not play a single preseason snap or drive and expect to come out week 1 against a legit team, a conference team in Minnesota, and expect to put up points, expect to run offense like it's nothing. You didn't know these guys. It's one thing throwing to Devontae Adams, and we saw what happened last year in Green Bay. Didn't go good week 1. Then we're fine. I question them, is it going to be fine going forward? Because these guys are all young. They're rookies. They're young. They don't have a number 1 guy. Rodgers is older, which means he's going to be more impatient than he would be generally. We all know when you get older and someone does something wrong at work or at the gym, you don't want to be around them quick. We all know. Look at Tom Brady. When a young guy misses a catch, they don't come back until like week 12. So how's Aaron Rodgers going to react and overplay with these guys? How's it going to go? It's going to be tough. Now, I question them not because of Rodgers, really, but because of Rodgers' age, his patience level, and the actual skill level that these guys fit into the Rodgers offensive scheme. I think we're going to see a completely different Aaron Rodgers going forward. I think we're going to see more of a Patrick Mahomes one. We're going to see a lot of dump offs. We're going to see A.J. Dillon and Aaron Jones on the field at the same time. I really do think that's how they win. You need to do that because you need to confuse whether you're going to run or pass. So we'll see. I do say they should go out and get a trade. Maybe trade for a Tyler Lockett from Seattle because I don't believe DK Metcalf is going to be available. But I would go out there, try to get a Lockett, who's, I believe, locked up for 3 more years, which would close out Rodgers' contract as well. He's a deep threat guy. He's a good guy. He's not as good as Devontae Adams, but he's a good guy, good player. I would go out and trade him. Hell, you guys might as well even go try and get some free agents out there that are available. You got a couple of them, but good luck, Packers Nation. I think it'll be okay, but it might take a few weeks. We'll see, because I don't know who you play next week, but I know week 3 you play at Tampa. So you better win this week. You better win week 2, because you go to Tampa with that defense, not having that offense potent figured out. Good luck. Let's talk about Cleveland real quick. Jacoby Brissett, decent game. He didn't do a lot, didn't do enough to lose the game, but didn't really do enough to win the game, yet somehow he had a game-winning drive to kick a field goal to win the game. I get it's Carolina, but they're 1-0. They're 1-0. Let's see how they can go without Watson there. If they can maintain a decent record in that division, which is already the number 1 team, is 0-1. Steelers are hurt, and they're 1-0 as well. They got a shot. It's a good start. We'll see. It's gonna be a ruthless division. Now let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Lastly, we're going to talk about the Philadelphia Eagles. Jalen Hurts, 18 for 32, 243 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions, 17 carries, 90 yards, 1 touchdown. If you watch the game, you would see he only did 2 things. 1, the offensive line was supposed to be the best offensive line in football, yet Lane Johnson got his ass whooped by a rookie. Guy's good, though. The dude, Hendrickson or Hutchinson, is a beast. That line looked skeptical. They looked lost. They looked like they didn't really know what to do against that defensive line. Now, is that because that Hard Knocks effect where the Lions are actually really good and nobody knows? I don't know. But we saw 2 things for the Eagles, which is very, very good for the first game, but it's very skeptical for me going forward. A lot of people are like, wow, A.J. Brown, 10 receptions, 155 yards, just throw the ball to him. Their other guy, Devonta Smith, had 0 targets. Didn't even get targeted. So if you're going to play that type of offense going forward against good teams that are good defensive teams, because you think you're going to win the division, you're going to have to worry about the playoffs, and you only target one guy, and you don't look the other way for guys and you just roll out or throw it deep to Brown, you ain't going to move the ball against these good teams. The Lions, yeah, because the Lions are not a good defensive team. So you can do that. But I question it. A.J. Brown's a beast. Goddard was open, 3 receptions, 60 yards. But I really question how Devonta Smith did not get a target. How did not get looked at? A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts are supposed to be really good friends, work out together, train together. If Jalen Hurts is only going to look towards him, he's not going to make it all year because he proved that he can't throw the ball deep accurately and he can't read defenses. And it proved it right there. But one thing I do like about the Philly team is that they ran the ball. Miles Sanders had 13 carries for 90 yards as well and a touchdown. His first touchdown in 2 years. So if they can run the ball, might be a little bit better. Defense, though. What the fuck? 181 rushing yards allowed to Detroit. 35 points allowed to Detroit. 14 unanswered points in the 4th to let them come back. If you guys do that against a legit team that actually is a playoff team that knows how to win, we're not going to win games because Detroit is a game that we should win. And we are up by 10, 12, 14 points. Should have held it out, especially with all these new signings that we had. But if you're going to do that against legit teams, you're not going to be good. So, Philly fans, relax. It's a great win. But I don't like the way we won. We had a lot of changes. So we'll see going forward. And that's all I got for you guys on my Overreaction Monday. I don't have a lot more to talk about because I don't want to keep going for an hour. So we'll catch y'all next week. Enjoy the rest of the games for this week. We'll be back to talk about our players of the week, our defensive player, offensive player of the week, and our picks for next week. So peace out, y'all. Enjoy the rest of the week. Enjoy football season, and we'll be here with you. Holla. Later.